Hello, YouTube family. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture. Go by the nickname Ginger. It's not cute. Not knowing. Come on, let's get our hug in. Because it's time to know. You know the saying, you learn something new every day? Well, a judge in Ireland has ruled that the bread that they have at Subway is not really bread. They say it has too much sugar to be considered bread. We're talking about this bread that you eat with the sandwiches at Subway. It's worldwide. So what are people eating? Cake, but they said it's not bread because of the sugar content. So what will future debates look like? We're hearing they're going to be cutting the mics. Cutting the mics. So there'll be no over talking with the thing. Now, what if they keep talking? They don't even care about the mics. Next week, Mike Pence, Kamala Harris, vice presidential debate. It's not going to be all the craziness we just saw. But the week after that, there is Trump and there is Biden. But they're saying that they're going to be cutting the mics off. Big congratulations. More baby news. Nicki Minaj is a mom. She and her husband welcomed a son. I know she's very happy because she's wanted to be a mom for some time. Childish Gambino, when he's acting, he's Donald Glover. He and his wife had a son during the pandemic. You know, yesterday with Kevin Hart and his baby girl and Usher and his baby girl. It's kind of like a baby boom. Congratulations, Issa Rae. She has formed a production company entitled Hooray Media. She'll be doing projects for HBO Max as well as Netflix. Executives at Dancing with the Stars are still trying to explain why they got rid of Tom Bergeron. See, with the transition with Tyra Banks, it's been a little difficult and the ratings have just been a little and people are not happy. They're saying that they wanted to freshen up the show. Maybe pull some younger viewers in, but they wanted to freshen up. But they're still explaining why did you get rid of Tom Bergeron and Aaron Andrews. Lenny Kravitz, I was talking about his book a while ago, and it's coming out next week. Let Love Rule. It's about his life before the fame. His mom was actress Roxy Roker, who played Helen Willis on The Jeffersons. She passed away in 1995 from breast cancer. Lenny talks about his life pre-fame, when he was Romeo Blue. Right before that moment when he met Lisa Bonet, and then he morphed into Lenny Kravitz and just became so famous. But his book about pre-fame, being a biracial child, basically living in between two worlds. Let Love Rule. He's also on the cover of Men's Health. And the picture, gosh, he's 56 and he looks amazing. He's a vegan, but he eats all raw food that he grows himself. But he talks about his life, how he gets along with Lisa Bonet's husband and their marriage, their daughter Zoe. Men's Health magazine, it's coming out, and Let Love Rule. Lenny Kravitz, coming out next week. I'm always talking about movie theaters, and Hollywood is very concerned. Will movie theaters survive this pandemic? Movie theaters are coming back. There's a fear because there are so many blockbuster movies that are in the can, but they don't want to release them in theaters, so people are not coming out. People are still afraid with the pandemic. A lot of movie theaters, there's no concessions. A lot of people are used to getting their popcorn or getting concessions during the movie. So for now, it's a different kind of thing. I think it's going to be tough, but I don't see movie theaters folding. What do you think? I think next year, it's the same. Broadway shows and, stuff like that. But do you think that movie theaters will survive the pandemic? J-Lo being named Entertainer of the Year. She's getting the Icon Award at the People's Choice Awards. This was a huge week. She debuted her Coach line. She debuted her shoe line on DSW. And now she's being honored Sunday, November 15th, People's Choice Awards with the Icon Award. I had a chance to talk to Marlon Wayans. He's here in Philadelphia performing at a comedy club. He signed a deal with HBO Max. He's going to be doing stuff for them. There's the Aretha Franklin Project. Yes, he plays the mean first husband of Aretha Franklin, the movie Respect, Jennifer Hudson. Marlon's going to blow y'all away with his performance. That's all I'm going to say. It's y'all going to be like, that's Marlon? He plays that mean ex-husband or first husband. What else? He's got a project now. Bill Murray, this is where I have a brain fart, everybody, and Rashida Jones on Apple. So they've got that. He's been busy. It's been an interesting time for him during this pandemic because the Wayans family lost the matriarch, their mom. And every time I've interviewed any one of the Wayans, they always say, we get it from our mama, we get it from our mom. But Marlon's got some great projects and he's doing, some stand-up and on the road. Let's talk magazines. Lizzo is on the October issue of Vogue. She made history. First full-figured woman on the cover of a Vogue magazine. That's out this week. Essence magazine. More troubles for the magazine because now they're furloughing workers. They're blaming it on the pandemic. They say the furlough will only last 6 months. Essence has gone through some changes. This year alone, they only publish 6 times a year. Then there are all the workers who are claiming a toxic work environment, sexual harassment. That guy who owns Essence, he got off. They said they couldn't find anything wrong. Print media is suffering. I'm so old school. I want to hold a magazine and a newspaper in my hand. But print magazine is really going through some times. But Essence, they're furloughing. They said they're going to continue on with the magazine, but this is going to be interesting because I remember when Ebony and Jet start having problems. Today, where's Ebony and Jet at today? So what is the future going to be for Essence magazine? Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I've been talking about this. It's based on the August Wilson play. Denzel Washington is producing, and it's going to start streaming on Netflix December 18th. If you follow me on Instagram, because I'm going to do some stuff, for YouTube, my Instagram is WDAS Patty. I put together a montage of what you're going to see. Viola Davis, who I think is wearing padding, because Ma Rainey was a big, big woman, and Viola's not big like that. She stars. This is the final performance from Chadwick Boseman. His final performance. In the early 20s, artists had to fight for the rights of their music. And Ma Rainey was huge. This was before, Bessie Smith and the others. It was Ma Rainey. And she was doing, their blues songs. It's the story of her and her band. Chadwick Boseman plays one of the band members, and he's real cocky and he's real brash. Well, why we got to work for the white man and why they taking all our money? So it's really showing you, even back then, that artists had to really fight for their rights and their music. But Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Glenn Turman is in it. The actor Domingo. It's an all-star cast, but it starts streaming December 18th. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Chadwick Boseman's final performance. Y'all know I be deliberately saving things for last because the menopause makes me crazy. For the past couple of reports, I've asked you guys to keep Chrissy Teigen in prayer and John Legend. When they said she had to get 2 blood transfusions, I was like, ooh, this isn't good. She wasn't on bed rest. She was on hospital rest. This was her 3rd pregnancy, and this one was just a lot of trouble. She miscarried. It was a boy that they named Jack. And she was a little far along in her pregnancy. For any woman that has suffered a miscarriage or family that has gone through this, so many women suffer in silence. A lot of people want to make you feel guilty and feel that you shouldn't talk about, losing a child. It's a very difficult time. I had a miscarriage in the 90s, and it can be lonely, and you feel guilty because you feel like you're letting everybody down. You have this hope and anticipation, and it doesn't happen. And it's hard for people to understand in your life. I'm so jovial and happy that I remember someone saying to me, "I'll be so glad when you start smiling again. I hate it when you say it." And I'm thinking, life will give you ebbs and flows, ups and downs. And you're going to go through stuff. Every day ain't happy. And you ain't smiling. So many women suffer in silence. And they've had miscarriages and they go on, to have children. I was able to 19 years ago. But I have to tell you, the whole time I was pregnant, I was a nervous wreck. And he came very early. He came like 2 months before he was due. Keep those who have had, if you're watching this and you're like, I know what you're talking about. Because a lot of women, every pregnancy doesn't come to a healthy conclusion. Keep those in prayer. Keep her in prayer. The photos were sad, but for Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, because it's difficult for families, for women. So many suffer in silence and they feel like, I can't talk about it. No one's going to understand. No one's going to understand my loss. I don't care where you are in the pregnancy. A loss is a loss. Okay, one more thing. I'm going to bring our spirits up. I decorated my house for fall and I put pumpkins outside. Why did deer go after my pumpkins? I didn't know what was going on. I just saw that somebody tore apart the pumpkins. I said, what happened? What happened? So my son is trying to calm me down, saying, Mommy, stop, because they're going to think you're the crazy lady on the block. I look up and I see a family of deer. And they look back at me like, yeah? What? I didn't know that deer like pumpkins. I'm trying to be all fall and decorate and, It's not cute not knowing. Tell a friend. The channel is growing. Subscribe. Check out me on Instagram at WDASPatty. Leave a comment. You know that I saw it if I give you a heart. I appreciate you guys. My little signature saying is, it's not cute not knowing. Who knew that about Subway? That it's not really bread. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture.